What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of heights? Or maybe spiders or public speaking? Do you realize that what you fear will have a great influence on the decisions you make in your life? In this episode of Wisdom Search, we're going to be diving into the beginning of wisdom, the fear of the Lord. Thank you so much for joining us for this next episode of Wisdom Search. The scriptures reveal to us in Psalm 111 and in Proverbs chapter 9 that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. If you want God's wisdom, we must start by fearing Him more than anyone or anything else in our lives. The scriptures reveal to us that there's one that is to be feared above all else, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. In many modern churches today, we've encountered once again what Jesus called the leaven of the Pharisees. In Luke chapter 12, starting in verse number 1, in the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he, Jesus, began to say unto his disciples first of all, Beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. The fear of the Lord gives us a right paradigm, a right worldview that will enable us to make correct and wise decisions in our life. You may not realize this, but what you fear greatly influences the way you make choices. For example, if you're afraid of public speaking, your job occupation will likely not be very public. If you are wise and fear pain of being burned, you're not going to reach into a hot oven without an oven mitt. Fear in its right place is good. However, in our current society, we many a time will associate fear in the negative or sinful context. The devil always tries to copy and pervert what God has made. Truth in the beginning was established by God, and yet the enemy chose to pervert it with his lies. Marriage was established by God as very good, and yet the enemy strives to pollute it with adultery and fornication. His counterfeits always promise a better result than God's creation, but in the end it leads to disappointment and death. The fear of the Lord, defined in the scriptures in Psalm 111 and Proverbs chapter 9, is the beginning of wisdom. In Proverbs chapter 1, the scriptures define the fear of the Lord as the beginning of knowledge. In Psalm chapter 19, one of my favorites, the scriptures describe the fear of the Lord as clean. As I did research on that word clean, the same Hebrew word is used to describe, in the dietary law, clean beasts that were able to be eaten, as well as pure gold on the Ark of the Covenant, or to be used on the Ark of the Covenant. Proverbs chapter 8 describes the fear of the Lord as hating evil, specifically hating pride, hating arrogancy, hating the evil way and a froward mouth. And in Proverbs chapter 14, it describes the fear of the Lord as strong confidence, being defined as a sure hope and a fountain of life. As we consider the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom, in the context of the gospel, it is amazing to see how, if we are to be saved, we must have the fear of God. Consider the two thieves that were crucified beside the Lord Jesus Christ. One thief mocked Jesus, challenging Jesus to come down from the cross and to prove himself as the Son of God. The other thief rebuked the mocking thief and asked him, "Dost thou fear God?" Then that thief acknowledged his sin and Jesus' perfection and called upon the Lord to remember him in his kingdom. How do you view and how have you responded to Jesus giving his life on Calvary's cross? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're able to like the video below and subscribe to our channel, you'll be notified when the next episode is released. And don't forget, the first 3 videos of Wisdom Search, if you're able to comment in the comment section, you'll be in the running to receive a copy of Paul Chappell's A Word to the Wise. May God bless you as you search for biblical wisdom.